Here we are.
You know who the real ones are? The real ones are the people that are in the chat before the show starts.
Like Devin Bardo.
Yes. Devin, Saint Botro.
I'm
Real one.
rarely here before the show starts.
Right, yes, yeah.
We're here.
Man, I got something from one of our sponsors in the mail. I'm going to show it to you guys
Is it
before...
a lawsuit?
No.
Be really
I'm gonna
funny if
show you
Cornblow
guys-
just sued your ass.
In the intro. Who sued me?
If Cornblow just like sued your ass, just fucking.
Well, if anyone could sue me, he could sue me.
That's right. Smoked him.
I got a lawyer question for you guys. So you ever live in an apartment complex and you have a shared washer and dryer?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do
Oh, boy.
when someone else in your building has had their clothes in the washer and dryer for more than one day?
Can I be honest with you? You take it out, you put them on top.
Yeah, that's the on top. For more than a day, that's an on top.
Yeah.
So when it's like just a dryer, like I'm not against doing that. It still feels a little weird. I don't want to be touching people's stuff, but both washer and dryer, even if it's wet, just.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
We're saying a day. I say an hour. If it's an hour after it stops, it's just like you're not shitting on it. You're not pissing on it. It's honestly in no worse condition. It's just, look, when I finally got an apartment that had my own washer dryer, I realized it was impossible for me to turn back after that. But that hassle of you got to take their shit out of it. That's my opinion. I don't know what Mike says, but
It's tough because you never know when it stopped exactly. So you would check, and then I'll go back down like, an hour and a half later. And if it's still there, then I think you got to be like, I have to live my life. I can't be just sitting here. There should be. It's weird that no one's ever come up with a system. People have been for decades. People have been. There's no better invention. Maybe if Sam Hinkie stopped trying to fix email and fixed shared washer dryer spaces.
So one thing I did, not a fix, but I was in. It's a long story, but I was in an apartment building for the short period of time that had a washer dryer within the last 5 years, and the washer dryers were controlled by an app, and you would pay in the app, and then it would alert you in the app when your stuff was done. Yeah, that's about as I don't. What else can they do?
Yeah, I had that like my last year at college. I think it was like, hey, we got this now, which is definitely better.
Yeah,
but yeah.
All right. Let's go. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS, and brought to you by Mortgage CS. Become a Mortgage CS Ricky VIP by going to mortgagecs.com/Ricky. Body Bio, get 20% off your any order, actually, at bodybio.com with code RTRS. And Stateside Urban Craft Vodka, the official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter with Zoe. StatesideVodka.com. On the show today, Fly the Process returns. We reveal the location of Fly the Process, which will return for the first time since 2019. I will also unbox and try J. Harden wine. I have a box right here. There is something for everyone in that bottle. We'll discuss LeBron James' desire to play with the Suns, and we have a voicemail all the way from Australia. I was mentioning in the filter in that I got a gift in the mail. This is a stateside Surfside Yeti tumbler, which, look at this. You do this, and I can fit in the stateside iced tea, and it keeps it cold right in the Yeti. Look at that. It's pretty cool. You put the sodas in there, too. They sell them on the website for $29.99, but I got it for free. Stateside vodka, the Surfside vodka soda is refreshing. There is no carbonation in it. It is just 100 calories, and it is just the right amount of sweetness. No carbonation because iced tea does not have carbonation. You can get it at statesidevodka.com. And a sad note, we would like to send our love to the family of Process Pup Buddy, who crossed the Rainbow Bridge last week. Buddy was an OG Big Barker process pup, and he had the Big Barker with the embroidered Rights to Ricky Sanchez logo on it. He was a 17-year-old Yorkie. 17 is a really good run for a dog. He was a good boy, and we want to send love to his dad, Sean, the rest of his family. Rest in peace, buddy, forever a process pup. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who has stayed committed to the mustache. That is one Mike Levin.
Yeah,
It's
my
still
end
there,
of days
isn't
might be coming soon, but I'm mostly enjoying it. I mostly like it. I did notice, speaking of mustache, speaking of CJ, did you notice, Spike, that the intro video seems to not have changed?
Oh, wow.
Despite
That is
an ask by you on the podcast?
Oh,
here
wow.
he comes. Oh, popping up.
Funny enough, I actually started scripting the new intro video today.
Scripting it.
So production is underway for the new
Update hot
video.
off the presses.
Yeah.
See, you had, CJ, you had a only ally in Mike. Mike was 100% your ally. And the fucking mustache thing added an edge to him with you that I have not seen before.
Now I'm
watch
dark
your
Mike,
back.
but once the mustache goes, then I'll be back. I'll be back to be full CJ.
Dark Mike Rising.
Well, let's reveal the location for Fly the Process. Our Bust the Processes were Brooklyn and DC, and then we flew to Chicago and went to the game in Milwaukee. Then we had Fly the Process in Indianapolis, New Year's Eve with TJ, and obviously due to COVID, Fly the Process has been paused, but it is coming back.
You missed Minnesota.
What's that? Oh, Minnesota. Fucking forgot about Minnesota too. Minnesota, where we did the live pod in the hotel hallway.
Oh yeah, those bad guys.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great moment, though. Yeah, Minnesota as well. Minnesota, where, by the way, fans of Philly had to donate $10,000 just to buy tickets because they were so frightened of us. We donated $10,000 to their youth fund or something. So we partnered with Fans of Philly, PH, fans, get it, Fans of Philly. Anyway, we've always partnered with Fans of Philly, great partner. And we are bringing it back. So there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of innuendo as to where it's going. But we are visiting the combination of Austin, Texas, and San Antonio to visit one Brett Brown. That is right, South by South Brett. We will fly to Austin, stay in Austin for 3 nights. San Antonio is like a 90-minute bus ride, so we'll take a bus to the game. Brett Brown is aware that we're coming and will join us for the post-game picture on the court after the game. So it's the trip is February 2nd to February 5th. The game is February 3rd. We stay in Austin all of the nights. You get 3 nights at the 4-star Hyatt downtown in Austin. And if you haven't been to Austin, people fucking love Austin. Just a fun party town. We will have a pre-game tailgate party in San Antonio, the post-game photo on the court. We'll all sit together. You get the T-shirt, the South by South Brett T-shirt up there, which I asked Tanner to do in hip-hop streetwear style. And so all of the prices, if you go to rightstoRickySanchez.com/fly, that is rightstoRickySanchez.com/fly is there, or go to Fans of Philly, or I'll put it out on the Twitter right now. there's anything from staying with, 4 people in a room to 1 person in a room. You need $150 to put your deposit down. And then Joe works on payment plans with everybody. So Fly the Process, a lot of fucking fun. I did reach out to Brett and I said, if we come visit you, are you going to acknowledge us? And he did mention buying drinks again. So Fly the Process.
I like South by South, Brett.
Yeah. So that was, what's it called? That was Jason Lipshitz's idea. I remember when I was thinking about whether to do Indianapolis or not, I'm just like, Jason's probably our truest fan. And I texted Jason. I was like, should we do Indy New Year's Eve? He's like, absolutely. And then I said, how about Brett, San Antonio, and Austin? What do we call it? And he's like, South by South Brett.
The music guy.
There it is. There it is. Have you been to Austin before?
Mm-hmm.
Austin is a very desirable location. People love going to Austin. Reminded me a little bit of Nashville, in that the party area is pretty like compact or whatever, all in one sort of place. But I've never been to San Antonio though, which we're not going to spend a lot of time in San Antonio.
I'm sure there's a ton of cool shit in San Antonio. I'm sure there's a ton of like fun local spots. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah, I guess so. So there it is. February. Look forward to seeing you there. It is, people, if you're not looking at the calendar, it's the weekend in between the championship games and the Super Bowl. So you only have to worry about if the Eagles are in a big game. There's going to be no big game that weekend. In fact, no games at all. So South by South, Brett, Austin, and San Antonio. So there we go.
There you go. What a
there
guy.
We go.
Brett Brown.
Brett Brown, great guy. Very excited to see us. I can't wait, honestly. So obviously we are all behave, a lot of cheering. There will obviously be very loud cheering for the Sixers, but the raucous ovation when somehow Brett Brown like walks out into the court or gets announced as an assistant.
Checks into the game.
Checks into the game. We're gonna, and part of me, so here's the other thing that I think is really amusing about this, and I would like to know your opinion, is this will only stick in the craw, I think, of one person in America.
Doc.
Doc. Right. So the question is, do we bring Sixers Adam along just to go to the post-game availability to ask Doc what he thought about all the cheers for Brett Brown?
I mean, first of all, Sixers Adam should come because he's never been, and I think I was texting him about it today. I think he would be lifted and carried like some sort of god. But I think whether it's Adam or Derek or Rich or whoever, I think plenty of people would be happy to ask Doc about what they thought of the cheers. I do think that Popovich will do something.
Yes.
I think there'll be some acknowledgement, especially because like the reason San Antonio is interesting is because they're doing the process now. Mm-hmm. They got Brett to go do the process.
Yep. Jeremy Sohan.
Who knows how long it lasts and all that stuff. But their DeJounte Murray trade, very reminiscent of the Drew Holiday trade from 2013 draft. Mm-hmm. So I think that it feels apt that in Brett's first year there, I think Popovich will like respect if depending on how much Brett explains to him, I think there's a chance that what's going on. I think that there's a chance that there's some Popovich type thing happening.
Now I'm not asking Greg Popovich to do this, but could you imagine first 5 minutes of the game, Popovich purposely gets booted and Brett Brown steps up and is the head coach for the game?
I mean, by February, they will be 50 games under 500.
Right.
I think there's, if there's odds of that, will Popovich get ejected from tonight's game? I think that.
Oh, maybe that's the DraftKings thing.
We should bet, yes. Will Popovich get ejected on purpose? And you can, I mean, that's not that's a feeling. You can't bet on a feeling. But will he get ejected? Yes or no? I think I would take those odds and I would do it.
So there is you can't mobile bet. You can't, you can't online bet in Texas right now. But, DraftKings has always done a special bet for us for fly the process, I think them doing will Greg Popovich get thrown out of the game would be an amazing bet. Would be an amazing bet. Yeah,
It'll be good. And you could bet no.
You
could
bet
win
no.
some money on no.
You could bet no. You could bet no.
So then you're happy either way. If he gets ejected, then you're like, okay, great, we get to go nuts for a Brett game. If he doesn't, then you get to win the DraftKings bet.
So once again, $150 to reserve your spot. It is February 2023. We look forward to seeing you. Speaking of DraftKings, I wonder if you've looked at this. What do you think the line is for the opening week of the Eagles as DraftKings and as official sports betting partner of the NFL? So Eagles at Lions, September 11th. Shout out Keith Pompey. Opening week. What do you think?
Keith Pompey is September 11th. It's like how Michael Bay puts his name before his movies. This is Keith Pompey's September 11th. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Eagles at Lions. Hard Knocks team. I was texting my buddy about how the Eagles win total is lower than you want it to be.
What is it, like not 8.5, 9?
It's not. I think it's 9 or 9.5. And you're like, I would like that to be 10, 10.5. It seems like they just want Eagles fans to bet it and then lose.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lions are also coming off a real bad season, although I do think they'll be better. I would say Eagles on the road, 4.
Damn, he nails it.
Wow.
It is 4. It's fucking 4, man.
Cool.
It's Eagles by 4. And while you're hot, what do you think the total is? The over under?
Eagles will run heavy last year. Lions from behind. Give me 48.5.
Whoo, it's 49.
Wow.
Holy shit, Vegas Mike.
Vegas Mike. Mustache Mike. Vegas Mike. There it is.
Mike.
I grow a mustache, I'll become a fucking sicko all of a sudden. Just a sick fuck betting. In a dark room with a cigarette lit.
The DraftKings, as I mentioned, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Bet $5 on any football game, get $200 in free bets instantly. If you want more action for opening night, everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Get up 7, you win. Bet on any NFL team of your choice, and if the team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code RTRS to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code RTRS. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I love sicko gambling Mike. I love gambling Mike, the gambler. Did you read the?
I thought we were doing the Harden thing.
Oh, you want to do that now? You want to go right into that?
I want to do it now because I got something here.
Do you have the wine?
No, I have someone that does ship to California, 2 stateside cans.
Oh, okay.
1 iced tea and vodka, 1 pineapple.
Okay. So do you want to do the Harden thing now? The unboxing?
Yeah, we'll explain it. So they're going to send some. Spike and CJ have Harden wines.
Well, let's pause that for a second.
Oh, you didn't get it either.
Well, CJ, so you have to sign for it.
Okay.
And CJ is blaming
17 years old.
Yeah. Well, CJ's blaming the courier for never like knocking on his door or whatever.
Wow.
So his wine is at the FedEx or whatever, right?
Hopefully, yeah. He did his
They're
job. I've gotten
the
stateside.
FedEx is just drinking CJ's blends.
That's it. Yeah. I've gotten stateside shipped before, and I didn't need to sign for it. It just showed up at my door. I don't know why they decided now to do their job, but it's whatever. I'll get.
So should we wait for it? Because you guys were gonna. So they don't ship to California. Is basically the idea, which feels targeted.
They do not. Yeah.
For James.
So we could either wait, or I could do this one, and then CJ can drink it this weekend.
Tough to do a morning wine.
Well,
a morning bottle of wine.
It's 11.
Well, we could do it. You want to do it in a week? Well, I don't know what's going on. I'll just do it now. I'm just going to start. I'll drink now and be drunk by the end of the pod. It's the off season. Who cares?
Okay. All right. So Mike's going to drink Surfside while okay, so here is and by the way, I had to buy it. Fucking PR guy, I know you're listening. where's the fucking Hardened wine? But anyway, bought it.
Oh, that's took a page out of Adam Aaron's book. Going,
Yes.
Hey, we'd love for you to be there. It would be so great, and it costs this much money. We just
Yep.
be our treat for you to pay for it.
So if you want to watch, if you're listening and you want to watch on Spotify or YouTube, you will be able to visually see it. So here's the box it comes in.
A live unboxing.
Live
It's
unboxing.
August, baby. We're doing a live unboxing of wine.
Live on. Okay.
9 years into this podcast, our first unboxing. Huge. Little kids are gonna watch this.
Okay.
You should have the gloves on, the fancy gloves.
And the only place you can get it is this website or whatever, which is ridiculous. I would love to go to I have a place near me called like the Wine Library. It's a giant fucking wine store, and they don't have it. So here we go. It comes in the egg crate.
That's nice.
And here it is.
How's it feel? How's it feel in your hands?
Something for everyone.
Tactile experience we're trying to give our listeners.
So, it feels like a bottle of wine. The front is, as you see, now I got the Cabernet Sauvignon. It has the drawing of the art of James Harden on the front, J. Harden
Pretty
lines
cool.
with the
It's cool art.
signature.
The art is cool.
And then on the back, there's a picture of James Harden with a
Okay,
fresh
maybe
cut.
overdoing it.
It looks like. And it says on the back,
It looks like it matches your tattoos, color-wise.
yes, very similar. Yeah, colorful. J. Harden X J Shed wines manifest my passion for art, fashion, and people. A range of smooth, jammy, and full-bodied wines that connect my worlds. This smooth Cabernet Sauvignon displays dark fruits and soft mocha, a mellow combination. Signature, James Harden.
I think that the way people that have listened to this podcast for a while won't be surprised that I think that the way that people describe food
Yes.
or drink, it makes my eyes roll so far back into my stomach.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. I feel my eyes and my toes
So
is how much I roll my eyes at that stuff. Just the way that people describe it. And it's like, it's not even about the taste. It's about how, like, this wine makes me want to, like, call my sister back. Like, it's crazy how it does that. I'm just, shut up. It's like, it's food. It tastes good. Food is good. Like, I don't know. The way people, like the show The Bear, how it talks about food. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Shut up. Who cares? It's food. Eat it. Just eat it. It's good. Thank you.
the thing with me, with wines and coffee sometimes too, and a bourbon is like it has notes of X, Y, Z.
Notes.
And then I listen.
Miss me
I
with any
taste it.
note.
Right. I taste it. I'm not going to taste any mocha in this red wine. I'm just going to taste like wine. So, all right. So
You can. I mean, when you have it together, I don't. When I'm at like a wine tasting, and you're like, "Here's a bunch of them," and you can be like, "Okay, I taste the difference of them." I'm not going to remember them like individually. It doesn't enhance the experience.
I'm going to. So we had the unboxing. There will also be an uncorking. So here we go.
The listeners will finally see if Spike can uncork a wine himself on the first try.
I can. I went through a wine stage of my life. I didn't I didn't know the difference between any of it, but I did drink it every. There we go. There we go. It smells a lot like wine. Yeah. And I had. Oh, where's my stateside glass? There. I'm gonna pour it in a stateside glass. So, what do you think, Mike, of the people who swish it around like this, and then do this?
The smell.
Yeah, put their
whole
nose in
there.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's just trying to pretend like they know what's going on. I don't. Those people. I'll give it a whiff. I'll give it a whiff. That's fine. Just be like, okay, I should be doing this. It's more the way people talk about the notes and like the sweet taste of home in the summer when the bees are buzzing, and it's honestly like it's honestly like Windhorstian.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone describing like drink notes and food feeling. They're Brian Windhorst to me.
So here we go. Here's the taste. This might be the most we've done a lot of ridiculous podcasts, including a couple where we never even mentioned the Sixers. This might be
That was
the
one.
dumbest.
That was one. Why did we do that, by the way? I was thinking about that the other day.
So it was, by the way, people thought it was funny. Or some people were mad, but the season was in a really bad place. And I think it was in a really bad place for like 3 weeks, and we couldn't take it anymore. And
This
I
would have been
think
the Horford season, probably, right?
probably, yeah.
I think so.
And I said to you beforehand, let's just not talk about the Sixers and not even acknowledge it. And you were like, okay. So I can only imagine if we did that live. If we did that live, it would be funny. All right, here we go. I'm going to try it.
Here it is. Switching it around.
Well,
He's doing the mouthwash thing.
tastes like red wine to me.
There it is. Successful. That's what he set out to do, and he's done it.
I have proven it tastes. So I'm going to put the cork back in it so I can share it with CJ when he has to drink it this weekend in the morning. And then you, Mike, I guess we'll never get J Harden wine. You will be lucky because you'll have to continue just to drink Surfside iced tea and vodka.
I'll have to have it when I'm home.
There we go. Did you read the LeBron article about his sons? The SI article?
No, I saw a couple screenshots, but didn't do the whole thing.
So it's a cover of Sports Illustrated with LeBron and Bronny and Bryce. And it's like, a piece mostly about his sons. It was fine. But the thing that they publicized it with and that it got traction was the idea of him perhaps wanting to play with both sons.
Which is, to me, why not? Like, okay. I remember growing up and thinking that the Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. thing was like the coolest thing in the world. And if he's that good, if he's good enough still and the kids can make it, I don't want it to be like a LiAngelo Ball situation where some team, I don't think by the time LeBron's 42, people are going to be like falling over themselves to sign like someone shouldn't make a roster.
Just to get him on the team, right? Just
to get him on the team. But if it like works out that way, if it's legitimate, I mean, it's a fun, unique story for a guy wanting to, when people, Barry Sanders retired early, which is cool.
Yeah.
Brady is still going and is still inexplicably good, which is baffling. So like, to me, it's like why not? If you still want to keep playing, to me, I think it's kind of nice. I would want to hear what his kids think about it. If they would be like, hey, I'd really rather my dad not be here with me in the locker room, then I get that. But I mean, their life is difficult and particular in so many different ways that I could never even imagine.
Not surprisingly, I have a bit of a different opinion on it, though I don't totally disagree with you. But so here's the meatiest part regarding this from the article. We don't even really talk about the future too much. I put it in the air because I like to talk to the basketball gods out there and see if things can come to fruition. I always set out goals in my career, talk to the basketball gods, and they've listened to all of them. Hopefully they can listen to this last one too. When asked about the details, he waves away the query. I like to throw things out in the airwaves, but I'm not one to say what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years. I am a visionary, but I'm also a guy that lives in the moment.
This is borderline food and wine talk. This is like pretty close to the same words that you would use.
I am a visionary is a great quote. I'd definitely be looking at who got first round picks in 24, 25, things of that nature, 26, 27. I pay attention to that type of stuff. I feel like I could play for a while, so it's all up to my body, but more importantly, my mind. Also, up to your sons. If my mind can stay sharp and fresh and motivated, then the sky's not even a limit for me. I can go beyond that, but we shall see. And then the writer says, it's a lot to imagine LeBron at 43 playing an NBA game with both of his sons, but then Tom Brady is still rolling at 45. Why can't it happen?
I like this idea that like LeBron's like memory is going to start to go And so he's like, I got to retire. I can't remember things anymore. Like that being it, not like the fact that like, hey, I'm just not as good because I'm
40.
physically like an old man.
It's all up to my body. More importantly, my mind. If my mind can stay sharp. Look, my comment is this. LeBron, I wonder if I've ever used this metaphor before, as I use a lot of metaphors. Some hit, some do not. Sometimes you're dating a girl or a guy, whatever, dating somebody who you feel like is out of your league. And it's going well, but then you start to feel it slip away. And you try extra hard to hold on to it, only making it worse because then you start feeling needy. You're texting when you don't want it. They don't want you to text, so on and so forth. LeBron has been chasing this greatness, this specific greatness where he is recognized as the greatest. And that's not going to happen, at least not from everybody. It's not going to be the consensus. But he just keeps going and adding things to it. It's like, oh, well, I'm also a media mogul, and I'm also this, and I have the TV show, and I'm also going to play with my sons. I'm going to play forever, actually. So if I play forever, and then am I the greatest? And I feel like he's just like wearing everyone down. And like, it's just like, this shit is, why don't you let your sons get to the league? I agree with you, the Ken Griffey Jr. thing. But if Ken Griffey Sr. had come out and like approached it this way, I think it would have felt different, you know?
Yeah. It's not happening. It's not happening organically. And I think that a big critique of LeBron is that nothing happens organically. It all feels incredibly planned and plotted out, and the media mogul stuff and all that. Yeah.
It's just sort of a, like, I think it's as much of a statement about like humanity, in that to be able to achieve everything that he's achieved, have everything that he has, you know, the mark that he's made, and still chasing, like still not have, like still be chasing whatever that feeling is or whatever that moment is to prove, because like, it does seem like they're trying to make everybody believe something or feel a certain way about him. And it's just sort of a bummer, because if he would just be sort of, he's had enough to be thought of in a good way, I guess, is what I would say. So,
yeah, I mean, like leaving on a high note or, you know, continuing to wring all you can out of it. I think as an athlete is always an interesting proposition. I think about like, I talk about this all the time, but like when very rich people are still like determined to work, I don't think that's, I think I'm always like, why are you doing this? Just go chill out, please. And LeBron obviously is like a very rich person now, but it's a little bit different than like, I mean, maybe it's not. I was going to say it's being a basketball player and like playing in games is different than like being on fucking conference calls and making deals, but I guess to them it's the same shit, even though
it's still work, you know?
Deeply boring to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think for an athlete especially, it's like, how far do you want to push your body? LeBron is obviously, and Brady have both like commodified their body and its ability to heal and stay healthy and stay in shape and, you know, beat the odds over and over again. When do you go out? Right. How much do you want it? How much are you going to miss it? I mean, Brady retired, and then maybe that was, I mean, there's weirdness there, but like Brady retired and then unretired, like in, you know, the same offseason. So it's just, I think being addicted to it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, as far as the like legacy of it, yeah, there's never going to be a consensus about who is the best player of all time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
just in the same way that like Jordan is never going to lose in the finals ever again, because he didn't make the finals enough times to lose in it. He won 6 and that was it. Like that, and then that seems pristine. Whereas LeBron got to the finals like so many years in a row and lost some of them. So I think there still is a searching for his thing type of thing, and maybe he thinks it's like playing with my kids until I'm, you know, crazy old. I think it's I mean, I still play with my dad whenever we're in the same place, when we get to, he plays in my game or I play in his. Like, I think it's cool. I was like, when I like passing to my dad and when he finishes for a layup, I'm like, that was awesome. Like, I feel pride and it's nice. But I can't imagine that if my dad was in the NBA.
Yes.
I'd be like, that was sick. Dad just threw me an alley-oop.
Like, I certainly don't want to speak for them, and I have no idea what they're going through and what their lives are like. But it just seems like it's enough to play basketball and have your dad be LeBron James, to be like, yo, I'm figuring out when the first round picks are to see if I can play with you.
Yeah. That's
fuck,
and
man.
that's
Let me get out of 8th grade,
Yeah, that's the planning and plotting and like he's a wartime general putting everything on the board and being like, here are the places we're gonna move this around. And it's like, all right, man, you can just play basketball and be a little cooler about it. But that's kind of how he's always been. I mean, like, to have that much success after being that hyped as a prospect just never happened before. And I think the gears in his mind that allowed him to take all of that hype and still like be as good as he became are the same ones that are like causing him to be like, I am businessman. I am like plotting out the 2025 draft for my 9th grade son, like those kinds of things.
I got an email from, should I give his name? He didn't say whether he could or couldn't. Let's just say from okay,
First
TJ.
initial.
TJ. Used to work with TJ. He sent me a note and he said, Spike, we closed on our new house today. I thought I'd send an update on how it was working with Mortgage CS in case you need a testimonial. Who knew listening to the Ricky would help me get through a major life milestone? After looking at houses for a year and a half, my wife and I finally found the place we really wanted to call home, and Mortgage CS got us across the finish line. Within a month and a half, Ben and the Mortgage CS team, shout out to Alec, Christine, and Shannon, were there with us every step of the way from pre-approval to sending us updated figures on the morning of closing. They made sure all of our paperwork and financials were in order as we sold our house and bought a new one at the same time. Thanks to Ben and the team, I know more about mortgages now than when we first bought a house years ago and got financing through a different broker. They're easy to work with and very responsive. A text or email would get a response within minutes, and they never made us feel like we were just another sale. Can't recommend Mortgage CS enough. Fuck. Do I even need to do the commercial? The thing about Mortgage CS is that like that's how they treat people. There's a lot to learn about mortgages, and they want to teach you. They are independent. They are a mortgage broker, not a lender. So their job is to go find you the best deal, and like Tim, make you feel good about it, and like Tim, know more about it. The way that you get a response right away.
Did you say his name?
Tim? Oh yeah, it's Tim. Shit. Well, this is live. Sorry, Tim. I think he'd be okay with it. You call or text their CEO, Mortgage CS CEO, at any time, 267-391-7425. Text him right now.
So TJ McConnell's name is Timothy John McConnell.
It is not.
Are you calling him Tim?
No.
It'd be very funny if you started calling him Tim.
No. I want somebody who's watching live, text Ben right now, the CEO, 267-391-7425, or go to mortgagecs.com/Ricky. That's mortgagecs.com/Ricky. They're also the big sponsor of the food truck festival at the Bark in the Park for Providence Animal Center. Thank you, Mortgage CS. They are a big sponsor of Bark in the Park this year. Hopefully you'll be able to join the team as well. If you'd like to use Mortgage CS, which you should, go to mortgagecs.com/Ricky or call or text their CEO, Ben, 267-391-7425, and tell them you listen to the Ricky. This advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Mortgage CS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com/Ricky for more information. Time for the Lorenzo Brown mailbag. That's right. You can send us emails at writestoricky.sanchez@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 833-LickFace. That's 833-LickFace. The first email comes from Jackson. Good afternoon, CJ and company. The unofficial Rights to Ricky Sanchez Fantasy Football League, which, by the way, was born in the Ricky Reddit, the Rights to Ricky Sanchez Reddit, which we do not run but does exist. So The unofficial Rights to Ricky Sanchez Fantasy Football League has been talking about a punishment for the last place loser or prize for the winner. None of us know each other in real life, so it's difficult to come up with a normal punishment. However, there was a consensus to get pod input if you guys are willing. Here are a few ideas thrown around already. Winner, a banner at the live Ricky, a 30-second segment on the pod, or give a jigsaw on the pod. Loser, change Twitter avatar to something Celtics related for a time period, naked down Broad Street, wearing a Ben Simmons jersey in public, buy a Greg Monroe cameo for the winner, or donate to a Ricky charity. Obviously, you guys would need to greenlight all of the winner options, so up to you. What are you thinking?
I like this. I think jigsaw sounds right.
Give a jigsaw?
Gets to give a jigsaw.
Yes.
For the winner.
Yes, I think that's fine. Absolutely. Winner gets to give a jigsaw.
I think that, and they could, maybe that's like a voicemail or something. Could be more than just like emails it in, maybe.
Oh yeah. Honestly, they can hop on. They can do it live. Winner does it.
And then
live.
the loser, Greg Monroe's interesting. Maybe a Greg Monroe jersey. If you get like a custom Greg Monroe Sixers jersey.
It just costs a lot of money. It feels like a waste.
Yeah. Well, you lost. Don't lose. Come in second to last place then. What about a custom Greg Monroe jersey?
That sounds better. It's less cost.
Yeah.
Custom Greg Monroe jersey. And I like the shame part of it, not just costing them money. We'll think.
I mean,
about
honestly, this makes me feel bad for Greg Monroe. It should be like if there's a way to do a custom jersey of Greg Monroe and DeAndre Jordan and Amir Johnson. Mm-hmm. Just like a series of backup centers that didn't work out.
Tattoo. DeAndre Jordan tattoo.
Tattoo is tough.
Yeah, tattoo is tough. Let's keep. We have
somewhere in there.
We have another. I think we have another week, so we'll figure it out by the middle of next week. The voicemail. We got a voicemail from Australia. 83 is whoa. What the heck, man? Oh, there we go. 833 Lickface. 833 Lickface is where you can leave us a voicemail.
Don't need the last E.
Hi guys, PJ here.
Yeah, save the last E for savings.
Hi guys, PJ here. My 5-year-old son and I.
Oh wait, no, hold on, that's the wrong one.
That's not.
We'll get to that one. Sorry.
Hey, Spike and Mike, it's David here, calling from Melbourne, Australia. I almost crushed my car the other day when I was listening to a Silverchair podcast, and a question came through from one Spike Eskin on a mailbag episode. It was incredibly jarring having Spike pop up on an Australian podcast about grunge music. His question, which he said was more of an observation, was inane and not very interesting. But it made me think of a question that is interesting. If you could do one podcast crossover, what would it be? Maybe a sex and love advice crossover with Dan Savage, maybe a true crime investigation crossover into Burngate. I think there are a lot of good possibilities. My basketball question is, we haven't heard about Mike's basketball team for a really long time. What's the deal there? I know, Spike, you had a sound effect ready to go for whenever Mike talked about it, but I think it's been a few months now with no news. Mike, is your team in the off-season like the Sixers? Have you retired from the game? What's the go? I was considering emailing this question, but I thought it'd be good to prove that you have more than one listener, given every other caller sounds like the exact same dude from Philly. I hope you appreciate it because I'm paying international call rates. Thanks.
So first of all, thank you for the call. Fuck
was
you,
that you?
About your... Was
it
me?
you? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Was that... I mean, I don't know. Is there another Spike Eskin? I don't know.
Oh, no. Yes, I definitely wrote in a question. Silverchair is my favorite band.
So funny. It's so funny that he called it out as more of an observation than a question.
But it was an observation. Okay, so... By the way, that's the mic sound effect. The observation was there's a guy that does like a podcast all about the band Silverchair. I love the band Silverchair. And I talked about I was talking to the guy that did the podcast over DM. And I was talking about the parallels between Daniel Johns, the singer of Silverchair, and Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, and how they grew apart from their band. It wasn't inane. The guy can go fuck himself, Mr. Australia.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're asking people to email. You're asking people to email in, send voicemails. One little bit of criticism.
No,
Never email again.
I take criticism. I'm just telling you, it wasn't inane. It wasn't inane. And by the way, Silverchair is not grunge.
Observation
music.
is really good.
It's not grunge music.
So
podcast crossover and your basketball team. Which one do you want to approach?
Basketball team. It's not a team. It's just a weekly pickup game with a similar group of folks. I played very well last week, and I did not play well this week. That's the update there. The podcast. I am. Did I say this on the podcast? I'm coaching Alyssa's basketball team. Did I say that?
No.
I didn't say that.
No. Do you?
I am now. So
are you in a suit?
Alyssa's. Yeah, I'll be in full suit.
Yeah.
Alyssa is on a women's team in LA. There was a documentary about one of the other teams called the Pistol Shrimps. That's in her league. Aubrey Plaza was on that team. She's not on it anymore. And their coach was one of the dads of one of the players, tragically passed away. And then at the funeral for him, the other team captains asked me to do it. And you kind of can't say no at the funeral of the previous coach. So I've never coached before. We had a practice last weekend. My first practice I ever ran. I think it went pretty good. And yeah, so you'll get updates about Alyssa's team and how I'm coaching and how I'm behaving myself on the bench and to the refs, who I don't respect. I'll never respect a ref. I refuse to ever respect a ref. But my team, yeah, it's just a pickup game. So it's just me playing well or not playing well. The podcast, as in like, what podcast would we want to be on, or like do like an event more like this appeals to both of us kind of thing?
It sounds like, would we want to be on like what non-basketball, what different, podcast? I just don't listen to many podcasts. I don't want to be on the daily.
You're listening to some Australian podcasts, emailing in some stuff,
I
emailing
do.
in some inane observations. Apparently,
fuck you, man.
That's what people are saying. I didn't hear the observation. I'm just hearing that it's inane.
Fuck.
Other podcasts that we've. I mean, yeah, like I guess a True Crime Burnagate makes sense. I don't think there's another team-specific podcast that dislikes the team as much as we do. Usually the team podcasts are extremely homerish, and I guess there's a streak of homerism through me, but I like the Sixers more than you, and I also hate the Sixers more than you. So I think that is a I cover it from both sides there. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer, honestly. This comes from Tommy to write@StrokeySanchez@gmail.com. Hi, Spike, Mike, and CJ. I'm writing this as I take my first sips of James Harden's Cabernet. And my review is that it's a perfectly average bottle of wine, which is all I could have expected.
That's right.
My basketball question.
It really just needed to not be total trash, right?
Right.
Like if he's selling a $17 bottle of wine to people, like it's a blend. Like it's all it has to be is not taste like horrendous. And accomplishing that, I think, is good.
Sure. My basketball question is, who's a realistic player around the league you wish could be the Sixers' eighth man? Realistic meaning they'd be our eighth best player and are paid / viewed as such.
I mean, honestly, like James Harden's wine poisons people. They get sick and go to the hospital. Sounds like a Sixers storyline that could happen. And for us to not have to deal with that, I think is a positive. And that is something we should celebrate.
Well, like, but we also don't know that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. But so far. Eighth man. Gary Harris went down with an injury the other day. That bummed me out because I've always been a Gary Harris guy.
He'd be better than our eighth man, wouldn't he?
I mean, I think he's worse than DeAnthony Melton at this point, and so probably in the mix for that 7th or 8th spot.
Okay.
Who do I like? For this team? Like, as in, am I substituting out someone or just not?
You
Just
get to
on its own.
You get to add this guy, and he ends up as the 8th best player on the team.
Okay, so let's look at 8th best player is probably making like what, like
6,
4 to 6 million.
Yep.
Okay, that's
It's basically the Daniel House spot.
Yeah. Like a PJ Washington. PJ Washington will be great. Small stretch 5, can shoot, can defend, physical. Big fan.
Fuck,
Korkmaz
man,
is
I
in
wouldn't
there
mind
already.
having. I wouldn't mind having. Wait, he's not paid like an 8th man. The sharpshooter of Miami who doesn't play anymore.
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
Sure. Brandon Clark will be awesome. That'd be cool. It's a lot of rookie contract guys in this
Bruce Brown.
area. Yeah, Bruce Brown would be nice. Probably better than 8th man in that situation. Yeah, we're talking in the George Hill range, I suppose. A lot of these guys that are getting paid that much have already signed like an extension, so they'll be there next year. I mean, I'm getting close to the point now that Maxey has like elevated himself where I'm ready. Oh, Chuma Okeke. Oh man, I would love Chuma Okeke. They should absolutely acquire Chuma Okeke. He'd be great. I'm getting to the point that now that the Sixers are like, Springer hasn't popped as much as I want him to. Eschewing young players kind of thing. Like they're like, we traded the pick for Melton, which was good. We are getting a little bit into the like, I need a young guy to hang my hat on. And I wish I believed in the two-way guys a little bit more than I do right now. So I'm close to that. So let's hopefully rectify that in the next year or two. So because that's what I'm in for, man. I'm following the Phillies minor league system, getting my juice of young men that I believe in, their upside. Hao Yu Lee, Phil's second base prospect. Come on, Spike, get on board.
By the way, that's one of the things that's exciting about going to San Antonio is it's all fucking guys like that.
That's what it's about.
I'm excited to see Sohan in person. Guy's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah. He's going to tackle Brett.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine like the players, like the confusion of the players?
Yeah, they'll be confused.
Yeah.
They'll be confused for sure.
Because I remember TJ told us he had to explain to the bench why we were booing Brogdon so much and why we're booing Dan Burke.
And Tony Snell also, because
Tony
Snell had to take the bullet for Brogdon for sure.
And then Scott O'Neill bought us the pretzels. Oh my God. Body Bio is an awesome company. This is Elite. I'm going to put some Elite in my James Harden wine. Body Bio is a supplement company. Family owned and operated in South Jersey, but great fucking supplements. They care about your gut and your head. Elite is one of the products that this is sort of like the first step into Body Bio. It is your avenue to becoming hydrated. Most drinks that come with that have electrolytes have like artificial sugars or artificial flavors rather. And sugar and coloring and all this other stuff, the stuff that you don't want. Elite is just electrolytes. So all you have to do is take a capful of it and put it in your drink once or twice a day, and it will keep your electrolyte levels perfect. For me, it helped eliminate the cramps I would get in my legs, in my feet, in my calves, in my thighs. I would get them all the time. Sometimes when I was driving, it was terrible. It was gone. It's like $8. The Elite, it lasts you forever. I'm going to try it in the J. Harden wine. Makes it even better. Wine with electrolytes. Not just Elite, but all the other products we've talked about from Body Bio are worth trying, reading about on their website. Website is very informative. Butyrate, sodium butyrate, very, very important. A postbiotic. Liposomal vitamin C. A way for your body to absorb more of the vitamin C supplement to help your immune system. I remembered it. Body Bio is the best. We love them. They're also a sponsor of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez Bark in the Park Run team. Love them for that. Go to bodybio.com. Use code RTRS20 at bodybio.com for 20% off everything. That is RTRS20 at bodybio.com for 20% off everything. Body Bio, get the E-Light and put it in your J. Harden wine. Voicemail, 833-LickFace.
Hi guys, PJ here. My 5-year-old son and I have started playing a game inspired by the Ricky. It's called Lick Face, and it's basically a game of chicken where we get our heads close and try and lick the other one's face. Whoever loses is Henry Sims. It's been a fun way to play with my son. We laugh a lot and, of course, wash our faces when we're done. It feels like listeners consistently question your relationship as co-hosts. And since you're the originators of Lick Face, I want to propose that you two play this game at the next live event. As they say, nothing cements the bond between podcast co-hosts like licking each other's faces. What do you think?
No.
Wow. That's a very sweet thing for you to do to your son.
Yeah, it's funny, for sure. Is that a no for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we should probably lick each other's faces. I think that'd be probably taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
Licking each other's faces in front of like hundreds of people.
Yeah, seems like maybe no. This comes from Mark from 2rights, RickySanchez@gmail.com. Basketball question. Leaving aside the practical reasons why this would never happen, would you theoretically be in favor of the NBA switching its regular season from 82 games to an NFL-style 17-game once-a-week schedule? This would have obvious benefits, such as making each regular season game actually important, but it would also have side benefits. For example, teams would no longer be able to load manage players since each game would be too important. Also, no one would want Kyrie Irving on their team. Or does the appeal of being able to watch your team play 3 times a week for 9 months out of the year outweigh any of the benefits? I mean, I'm from a lifestyle perspective, boy, I would love 17 games over 82. There's just got to be some, there won't be, but I just wish there was some middle ground, you know? Like I guess 50 games would be great over the same amount of time even, you know? I think 50 is light, but give me like 65 and we're in business. Yeah. If someone just asked you, you could switch the NBA to a 17 game once a week, you know, sort of winner take all style, would you take it?
I mean, I guess it's me as a person versus me as a podcaster.
Yep.
As separate people. I enjoy watching basketball. I think if it's only 17 games, then younger players would have a way tougher time breaking into things. I think there'd be less surprising things over the course of a season. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like watching basketball, as my love for Summer League and everything else indicates.
833-LickFace is where you can leave us a voicemail.
Spike and Mike, hope you guys are doing well. Given your NBA expertise, I was hoping you could give some advice to a cute private equity investment professional thinking about pivoting his career and entering the 2023 NBA draft. I'm pretty good at shooting, but my ball handling and defensive skills leave a lot to be desired. I'm totally comfortable taking a role off the bench if that's where I'm best suited. Note that I played Division I intramural basketball, am turning 30 this year, weigh 140 pounds, and stand at 5 feet 9 inches. Thanks.
Division I intramural basketball is solid.
Also, wait, listen to his
Hey,
description
Spike and Mike,
of himself.
hope you guys are doing well. Given your NBA expertise, I was hoping you could give some advice to a cute private equity investment professional thinking about pivoting his career and entering.
A cute private equity investment professional. Just so you know what you're dealing with.
It's good to know.
Any advice?
Well, I think private equity is bullshit. So I think that is a good switch.
Good pivot. Yeah.
Good pivot.
There you go. This
if you're cute enough, you can pull it off, is what I'm saying.
140 is light, man. That's a light fella.
Yeah, 140 is light.
140 is light. This comes from Brant. Spike, Mike, and CJ, hope you guys are doing well. Great AMA pod. One basketball, one non-basketball, as is the norm. Basketball question. Manchester United were recently linked and likely planning to sign Marko Arnautovic, a 33-year-old striker who is way past his best and not at all in line with the type of player United should be targeting as a club. of their stature and to improve the squad for the future. As a result, the fans were united in being completely against the signing on Twitter and caused an uproar about it, about how bad the signing would be. The fans ended up making the club abandon the signing altogether after they saw the reaction from the fans online. Shout out John Middleton. My Sixers-related question is this. If you could have at the time, which one Sixers player would you have wanted the fans to unite and boycott on Twitter the most to ownership before signing or trading for a player to prevent the future outcome? I.e., Sixers fans got word of the team drafting Fultz, Zaire Smith, etc. Well,
those guys were all very exciting at the time. Yeah. If we could go back in time and stop something, then we're talking. But
yeah, I mean, I think he's saying knowing what you know now.
Mm-hmm.
I know which one I would pick.
What would you pick?
I would take in fucking Brandon Ingram.
Ingram over Simmons rather than Tatum over Fultz.
Well, I don't believe that we could have taken Tatum over Fultz.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't believe that. I just don't believe that we make that trade and we're allowed to take Tatum.
Well, I mean, you could. It feels like plenty of teams punk us all the time. Why couldn't we punk them?
Yeah, I look, if that were the case, yes, I would do that. I just don't believe that is. I believe it was part of the agreement in some way, though. I guess that could be wrong. But why would Danny Ainge? Danny Ainge did not want Markelle Fultz. He clearly didn't want Markelle Fultz, so he wouldn't make that trade thinking he was going to get Markelle Fultz. So.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's a couple things.
I mean, the Tobias trade.
I mean, yeah, not a trade I like.
Yeah.
At the time or in hindsight. But like, the Sixers would have won so many championships already if they simply had a playable backup center for those years. True. And they just didn't do it. They refused to do it over and over and over again. And I'm scarred from it. I'm scarred. I will never not be scarred. I'm out here asking people to get a Greg Monroe, Amir Johnson, DeAndre Jordan, like trifecta jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how scarring it is. Because the Sixers have been good enough to get past the second round, and they haven't. So that is a simple thing that if I could do in hindsight, I would just be like, hey, Larry Nance. Simply Larry Nance. That's all it would take. Jakob Poeltl. Like, not asking for much. But I think if you go back and, was not an Ingram guy, still not really an Ingram guy, obviously gotten better. Still think that Simmons' best version of Simmons, which who the fuck knows what we see of him the rest of his career, is better than the best version of Brandon Ingram. Or maybe not better, but like more conducive to winning. Mm-hmm. The Fultz thing, I was all in on. This is fucking still a shame what happened to him. The Zaire as a player, like very, very upset of what happened to him and the allergy. I just poked myself in the eye. The allergy, like, sapping him of all of that. But, like, Mikal Bridges should have been on this team. Mikal Bridges should have been on this team. He was ranked, like, 3 or 4 on my board that year. I, like, loved Mikal Bridges' game. The fact that he's such a big Phillies fan.
Yeah,
and he's
you
showing
were in favor
up
of that trade, though.
I was in favor of the trade in the sense that, like, picking up a first-round pick to move back from, like, 10 to 18 was good value. And I did also really like Zaire Smith. But I also was very excited about Mikal Bridges when they took Mikal Bridges before the trade happened. Because he was just, like, the simplest, most perfect, obvious fit for what they needed. And I think if Zaire didn't have what happened, I think he would have been a very helpful player. Not as good as Mikal has become, but I think he would have been a very helpful, useful NBA role player. And that pick, which they then used for the Tobias trade, like it's all wrapped up into one thing. But like the simplest of like could have had Mikal Bridges, and the fact that he's a huge Phillies fan, and like showing up to Phil's games and wearing like Rob Thompson shirts. His mom works for the team. He should be here. He should be here, and it sucks that he's not.
So what's your answer?
That one.
Is that one? So
No.
to not do that trade, to not make the Zaire trade.
Or at least go back and fire the chef. Like if I can't do this, just like tell that chef, or like, have a sesame warning in the kitchen.
And Brant's non-basketball question. That was also another fly the process moment that was very funny to me. In Minnesota, we were at a hotel bar after the game, and some like 4 or 5 Sixers were there. One of them being Zaire Smith, and they brought a plate of wings to him. And I wanted to go and look and make sure they were clean, that there was no sesame seeds on them.
Gotta be clean.
As if he wouldn't have said it. And here is Brant's non-basketball question. Every time I'm in a public space that only has one bathroom for men, i.e. a gas station or Starbucks, when I find myself pooping and in the early stages of the process, someone always tries to open the door or knock on the door. As such, I immediately feel immense pressure to hurry the process up and finish as quickly as possible out of respect for the person needing to use the restroom. As a result, I don't feel fully flushed out and will likely have to use the restroom again shortly after. Not to mention, the situation is already the worst given the thin toilet paper, gross toilet, gross floor, and smell. Question: should I feel pressured to hurry up in the public restroom each time I know somebody needs to use it, or should I take my time and allow my body to properly flush out? I want to be respectful to the other people needing to use the restroom, but also feel like I should be allowed the proper time to finish the job.
I mean, nightmare scenario is having to go to the bathroom, stopping at a gas station, the bathroom like not working, not being in use, or it's in use, or you can't go in or something. That's like the worst. It's the worst possible thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Happened to me a lot. Hate it. That's why I recommend going to a grocery store. Usually more bathrooms. Less like having to get a key on like a weird block. Very much like know your bathrooms in your city, wherever you live. But my honest answer is like, I think that you should. I think it's like we live in a society, try to do what you got to do and get out of there. I wouldn't take your time, but I also wouldn't
rush it.
Like crazy rush it. But I definitely have. Like I feel the anxiety that I feel like in a public toilet when there's one, I feel like I got to help whoever this is. I got to help them out.
What I do is I'm just extra quiet and wait for him to go away. And then I finish nobody wants to spend extra time in a public toilet anyway. I guess my point to him would be, I don't think you're dilly-dallying, playing Angry Birds on your phone, like you might do in the morning in your own home. Just don't take extra time, but don't rush it. You don't want to have to go in there again. Please.
Yeah.
All right. You can sign up for Fly the Process 6.
I will say there should be more public toilets like in the world, in this country. Like the fact that we have to go like be a patron somewhere to use a toilet when we're not like in our own residence, I think is ridiculous. It sucks. And I would feel way less anxious all the time.
If there were more bathrooms.
If there were just like useful public bathrooms around.
Huh. I've never heard that take. It's not a bad take though.
That is me speaking directly from my rectum. At the end of the podcast, my rectum chimes in. There's a couple of things.
You can make your deposit for Fly the Process 6 to Austin in San Antonio at writestrickysanchez.com/fly, or go to Fans of Philly, PHANS. I asked Joe not to spell it that way, but he spelled it that way. Anyway, fansofphilly.com. We can't wait to see you there. I think that's all we got. We will talk to you next time. Are you done with TTP?
Yeah. Lick face. I'm drunk at this point.